What up, guys? Bitcoin sitting right around 66,000, looking really nice. We're looking at a little bit of a retracement, but we're only 17 to 15 days before the halving. So as you guys know, late summer, early fall, crypto bull run is going to be popping off so nicely. Time to stack up some coins. And yeah, but today we're not talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about Qubic. Oops, sorry about that. Qubic is a CPU mineable coin. As you guys know, those who've been mining it and able to mine it have been banking out. We're going to go over today whether or not it's worth it to mine with a smaller farm. Should you even attempt it? Is it even going to be profitable if you have a smaller CPU farm like I do? I got some really interesting results for you, and they might actually kind of surprise you. We're going to go through all of that. Yeah, and see whether or not it'd be worth it to switch your rigs to Qubic versus keeping them on Zephyr. Don't get me wrong, I am still a big fan of Zephyr, but Qubic could have the profits right now. We're going to go through all of that. So go ahead, like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 700 subscribers, that much closer to being monetized. Also, comment down below whether you guys are going to plan on attempting to hop onto Qubic, or if you're thinking about just staying on Zephyr, stacking Zephyr. Because I know I have my goal. I do want to hit 100 Zephyr, hopefully, before it pops off. But I may have to pause Zephyr mining for Qubic mining. But stay to the end of the video, you'll see why. Yeah, like, subscribe, do all those fun things. Let's get into it. Okay, so Qubic currently sitting at 0.0000569 or 0.000056971. Currently does not have a market cap rank. This coin is kind of funky. It has like a total amount of coins of like 1,000 trillion coins, which is a crap ton. As you guys can see, it's been on the dumper since it's been on CoinGecko. Not the best looking of signs, but it's profitable, so that's kind of why it's in the dumper. For those of you who don't know, I'm not going to get super into it because this project is so complicated. But Qubic, it's a useful proof of work blockchain, kind of, with AI, computers, blah blah blah. It definitely fits the narrative for the bull run because, you know, AI, they do have some doxed founders and whatnot, so that's always really good to see. As far as wallets, I'm using the web wallet. They do not have the mobile wallet for iOS Apple yet, and they also have a desktop wallet, but only for Windows. I've been using the web wallet, have had no issues with it whatsoever. So as far as Qubic mining goes, we kind of touched on it. Qubic is solo mined. Essentially, you come over to the website. I'm not going to do a full-on how-to. I will link Rabid mining's video down below in the description. His video is really good. He did it way better than I could have even imagined. But currently I have 6 CPUs, and not all powerful CPUs, which actually kind of surprised me. I have 2 Ryzen 5800Xs, a Ryzen 7 3800X, which mind you has been out for a while, 2 Ryzen 7700Xs, and a Ryzen 9 7900X. So one of the 5800Xs and the 7900X are both in my Windows rigs. One of them is the rig I'm recording on now, which is why you guys should go ahead and subscribe, because I am losing on shares on Qubic, which could potentially be really nice because I'm making this video and want to get this information out to you guys. But yes, and so these ones I'm not necessarily expecting to hit souls on, but actually the 7900X, I did hit a soul on. I hit 1 soul and then had like 1 invalid soul, which was surprising because I do occasionally play video games. So you don't have to worry about, if you're worried about with Qubic, if you're going to mine it, but you're like, oh no, I don't want to mine it and then have to use my computer and then lose all your work you've done in trying to get a soul. You don't really have, it's not that big of an issue. And one of my oldest CPUs, the Ryzen 7 3800 XT, which has been out for a decent amount of time now, actually hit a soul today. And as you guys know, with Qubic, it's every Wednesday an epoch ends. So that's when you get after every Wednesday it restarts, and the 7700X has hit one, and the 3800 XT, which is an older CPU. I don't even think I have it overclocked right now. I'm probably just running like base overclocks, and it's sitting pretty nice. I should actually go and overclock it or undervolt it. And then the 7700X, we're going to talk about the CPU. I highly recommend, if you guys are looking at Qubic or building up any sort of CPU mining farm, this CPU, if you don't have like the 1000 to 1200 to build like a fancy 7900 or 70 or 900X or the 5900 or whatever it is that they have with the Ryzen 9s, this CPU rigs on it, you can build a decent rig for about $700-800, and it does bang. Last time, for the last week, was when I just started. I started kind of late. I mined for 4 days. Both of these guys each hit their own solution, which was really nice. And so far I've already hit 2. As far as how does that translate into profits, so for this week I mined roughly 4 days. I got 3 solutions that equated to 3,269,062 cubics at a price of 0.0000699. That was about $22.85, which equated to about $5.71 a day, which is really awesome, especially because I do use some of these CPUs for work. If we come over to hero miners right now, my whole farm roughly estimates between 58 and 64 kilohash over on Zeph, which, if we're looking over here on Zeph, is for 58, we're looking at $3.16. Over here on for the low end, for the high end, we're looking at $3.37, which is not bad, but Qubic just happens to be way better. Also, right now, if you guys don't want to mine Qubic, Zeph is looking really good, like a really good option, because everyone is moving over to Qubic. Difficulty has gone down, and you can actually rack up a decent bag of them right now. Like, yeah, I haven't looked at this yet, so another play you could do is just stack Zeph, because you're getting a lot of Zeph. The price is down, but it will recover. But this is not a Zeph video. Kind of sidetracked. So on my 7700Xs, as far as Qubic goes, because this is not a Zeph video. Also, if you want to see more Zeph videos, comment down below. Also, after seeing that, are you guys going to switch over to Qubic, or are you going to stay on Zeph? Because I'm kind of fighting with that one right now. Also, subscribe. Trying to get 700 subscribers, so we're trying to get monetized. Because, yeah, my office is getting really hot because I turned my fan off to record the video. Okay, so for the 7700Xs, I'm looking at about 156 and 162. You do have the silicone lottery, so this one is definitely, so this one on average gets higher, but this one is more likely to hit a share. Kind of interesting. On the 3800 XT, which is an older CPU, this one hit one, and this is only rocking 118. And for one of the 5800Xs, I'm looking at 130. The Windows one is only sitting at around 111. So yeah, but you can expect to lose a little bit because that one's on Windows and it's running at all that fun stuff. And I believe on my 7900X, that one's doing 180 or something like that. If you're curious, just ask below in the comments and I'll post it. But so as far as that got really bright. As far as the 7700X goes, these are what I'm looking on buying. One reason I do tend to prefer the CPU motherboard combos is because 9 times out of 10, especially if it's a micro center one, They're going to update the motherboard for the CPU, so you don't have to worry about updating BIOS, any of that. And it works together. Super easy, super simple. But yeah, I will definitely have these three options right here linked down below in the description. I just bought 2 of these. I definitely plan on buying at least 2 more, and it's way cheaper to buy one of these. Like right now you can get these for like $700-800. Looking at a Ryzen 9 7900X build, you're looking at closer to $8 to $1,000 depending on the parts you put in there. And so just as much profit, you save $100. The 7700X, definitely a way to go for mining Qubic, and then it's also really good over on Zephyr. Definitely my go-to recommend for budget CPU mining builds right now. If you're just now getting into CPU mining, this is where I'm looking. I'm definitely gonna stick to buying more of these until I get to the point where I can drop $5,000 on CPU mining rigs in a month, like Rabid mining. But we all strive to be Rabid in some way or another. But yeah, and so one thing that did have me intrigued is because this CPU, which is going to be essentially my lowest end CPU, it is the XT variant, which let's see what this goes for. 3800 XT. Okay, so if you buy it on Amazon, it's still expensive as balls. The 3800X is still 309. The XT is looking at 400. So I would not get on Amazon. I got mine off of eBay because eBay is the way to go. Yeah, the 7700X, for what you pay, this is actually cheaper to get the 7700X than it is the 3800. Interesting. But so I don't think it's necessarily, as far as Qubic goes, it's a whole farm. Like, I'm sure the bigger your farm, the more likely you are to hit souls, just because you have more workers out there. But if you have a couple CPUs and you want to test it out for a week, one thing I will say, it's definitely a longevity play. Like, you can't leave it on for 1 or 2 days. You have to, if you're gonna commit, I highly recommend commit to the whole week, because like one of the ones I hit like in the middle of the night before the payout, which is always really nice when you wake up to more money and then you figure out you just made an extra $5 while you were sleeping. And yeah, so you can definitely test it out with some lower end CPUs. I definitely want to try it out with something like a Ryzen 5 5600G, see if that hits any shares. That could be really interesting, because like, as you guys know, some of my CPUs, once we get towards peak bull run or towards the end of the crypto run, I plan on building a whole bunch of like really nicely priced budget gaming PCs or gaming PCs, sell them off, I recruit more money on top of my mining, and I get to build computers. And so yeah, as far as mining Qubic goes, I definitely, this one's down because I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, this one also runs Windows, so it's only sitting at 152 at a peak. But if I had it on something like Hive OS, then yeah. Also, one thing I want to touch on, because of Hive OS's fees, I have been running all my rigs 1 CPU, 1 or 2 GPUs, and that seems to keep my price down, my price per rig down on Hive OS. I might want to look into that, or just move to something else, but I'm lazy and haven't gotten that far yet. And this has been working 8 cents a day. I have $13 in there. It'll get me through most of the rest of the year. 1 day of mining Qubic will get me into next year. But yeah, that's the kind of the gist of the video for you guys. Comment down below whether or not you guys even like these kind of videos. If you guys want to see next week's updates on Qubic, are you guys mining Qubic? I am curious, are you guys mining Qubic, and which one of your CPUs have actually hit on Qubic? Because I'm curious what you guys have hit, because I might get something like those. But the 7700X, the way to go. I'll have it linked down below in the description. Like, subscribe, trying to get 700 subscribers, trying to get monetized, all that fun stuff. Check out the links down below. They'll make you some money. They'll make me some money. We'll all get rich during this bull run. You guys have a nice night or day, whenever the hell you're watching this, and peace out.